So in this video, I'll explain why this notebook, why deep learning works. It's geometric intuition. So yeah. So the big question is, why do deep learning work so much better than wide networks? So we'll understand this through hands-on visualization. So the challenge is a complex border that's hard to classify, and linear limits are why single neurons can only draw straight lines. So the folding insight is how ReLU bends and folds space, which is the key insight over here. Wide versus deep is why 5 layers into 22 neurons beats 1000 neurons in one layer. So the proof is, watch deep learning succeed where shallow ones fail. So the shallow network look like a lot of neurons in one layer, whereas a deep layer is multiple layers divided one after another. So the because depth creates exponentially more decision regions. So wide regions grow linearly with neurons. For deep is regions grow exponentially with layers. So yeah, let's look at the universal approximation theorem. So the promise, yeah. So there is this beautiful theorem in mathematics, universal approximation theorem, which says a neural network is just one hidden layer and can approximate any continuous function given enough neurons. So it means that theoretically we never need deep networks. A single wide layer network should be enough. But here's the catch. The theorem says a solution exists. It does not say you can find it easily. But it does say is it will be efficient. So in practice, many need billions of you may need billions of neurons, and training might never converge, and gradient descent can get stuck. So let's see in action. Yeah. So this is the neuron 1. It found out this approximation. This is neuron 2, neuron 5, neuron 200, like that. Yeah. So yes, we can approximate any function, but there are complex functions like these, and we might need millions of neurons. So is there a better way? Yeah, we have to go deep. So yeah, so this is the Belgian-Netherlands border problem. To really understand why depth matters, we need a challenging classification problem. So this video uses the broader border between Belgium and Netherlands, a famously complex wiggling line that's hard to separate. So let's create our own version of this problem. So the blue points are 0, class 0, and red points are class 1. So the border between them is very wiggly. So can a neural network understand this problem? So we'll just create a neural network which does that. Yes. So, and this is what the output of the neural network is. As you can see, it really very well differentiated the boundary between these two. So yeah, let's see. So before understanding neural network, let's see what a single neuron can do. As we saw, this is the operation happening inside a single neuron, and what one neuron sees is this x1 and x2, and it just draws a straight line differentiating class 1 and 2. So each neuron one straight line, it cannot handle wiggly borders. It will with single neuron we'll get this like this and like that. So a single neuron can only draw straight line, no matter how we shift the line, we can't fit the wiggly border. So we need something more powerful. So that is the magic of activation function. How ReLU helps you make curves in your line. So the ReLU activation function does something magic. So what it does is it takes max of 0 or the value. So let's see how it works in. So negative values are squashed to 0 and the positive remains unchanged. So this creates a fold or a bend in the space. So earlier, let's say the values were like this, but after they are, fold this like this. So earlier the values were like this, but now the values are like this. So it creates a bend in your neuron. So more complex spaces can be, you have to visualize it in uh, 2D or 3D to understand it. Then we have the wide versus deep network. So its key comparison. So let's see. So wide is add neurons in one layer. So each neuron adds one fold, and neurons enfolds roughly n plus 1 regions, and it grows linearly, which is O of n. And in deep layers, each layer multiplies the complexity. Previous folds get folded again. And with the n neurons per layer and L layers, regions can go up to O of n raised to power L, which is exponential. So you can see how many regions we got, is around 100 regions. But with just 10 neurons and 5 layers, we got up to 10 to the power 5, which is 100k regions. So 100k regions, as in, that's really amazing. So this is a two layers with 2 neurons in one layer. This is 5 neurons in one layer. This is 20 neurons, one layer. It is able to find 2 regions. But look at this has 4 neurons in one layer. So it found 4 in this region. Then 4 neurons, 3 layers, and 4 neurons. So adding neurons create more parallel fold, as you can see. Only in one layer, when we are adding more neurons, it is adding, creates more parallel folds. But when in deep layers, we are just adding, the layers. Here it was 1, it was 3, now 5. So adding layers create hierarchical folds on fold, like that. So deep learning with fewer neural network creates more complex regions. So one network is shallow and wide, just one hidden layer, and the another network is deep and narrow. So which one will learn the wiggly border better? Let's see. So here you can see the shallow layer can take up to 4,000 parameters. Deep has 4,300 parameters. Now let's train them. So in the shallow, we got the accuracy of 97.9%, and in the deep layer, we've got the accuracy of 98%. So let's do the final comparison. So this is the shallow layer. As you can see, the true border is this green one. It is not that, it did good job, but it can be better. A lot of spaces are still in the different region, but here you can see the output from the deep deep layers, and you can see only in few places it is not able to draw the border, but it did a really good job. And um, in the deep layer you can see the training loss comparison. Eventually it reduces and the accuracy is increased in the deeper layer. So yeah, in summary, yeah, in the geometric view, neurons folds space increases as you increase the density in a depth of layers. So each ReLU neuron creates a fold or a bend in the input space, and this is like folding a piece of paper. You can create complex shapes by folding it repeatedly, like we do in origami, like that. And it gives you 3D, a higher dimension model every time you fold it. So yeah, and width equals to linear regions. So add neurons to one layer and adds one more folds, but they are all parallel. They don't compound on each other. And n neurons means almost n regions, which is linear growth. And depth adds, adding layers lets fold compound on previous folds. So each layer can double, triple, or more region. The L layers in the neuron up to N layers, it is exponential growth. So the training is easier with deeper with depth. So the universal approximation theorem promises that shallow networks can learn anything, but doesn't say it's efficient. Each ReLU creates one folds in a space. Doing Going deep creates hierarchical folds of fold basically, that grows exponentially in complexity. So add a deep network with 160 neuron can beat a shallow network with 10,000, 100k neurons for complex pattern. Yeah, thank you.